Hi, I'm Elahe, a life coach, and I'm here to start talking about self-doubt and how it actually starts, what are the symptoms and everything. This is going to be a mini course, and I'm going to divide the sessions into 4 sessions. Don't forget to watch the other parts in order to fully understand how to deal with your self-doubt, how to do the thinking, and how to deal with every other part. So let's start. I have my notes down here so I won't forget what I'm going to talk about. So that's why I'm looking down. First and foremost, we are going to understand what is self-doubt. So self-doubt, the symptoms, talks about negative talks. So you start talking negatively to yourself, that you will say that I am not enough, or I'm not doing enough things, or see, I usually mess up with things, I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah. This sounds very familiar, I guess. This is when self-doubt happens, that you are not exactly sure about who you are, what you can do, and what are your skills. We cannot be a perfect person all the time, that's the truth, but related to our older patterns or the way we were brought up, we have learned some patterns, and related to that patterns we're doing the actions. So sometimes I would say that, okay, I am not enough, but why this not being enough starts? Where does this feeling come from? Or I myself, I was master of overthinking. But how this overthinking actually happened? Because I wanted to control the situation, because I didn't want it to get trapped in something that I feel stress, anxious. I wanted to be this perfect person everywhere, and then something doesn't happen, perfectionism. Something didn't happen based on my needs and my actions, I would feel stressed, anxious. Uh, I I will even get panic because I didn't know how to handle the situation. So that's exactly when we're talking about self-doubt, that you feel that you should control everything. You need to take everything under your observation. And if something doesn't happen, or if you would not have enough skills to relate to those action points, issues that is happening into your life, you will feel that, okay, maybe something is wrong and I am the problem. Other points, sometimes we will have poor role models, the people that we follow as best people, those who bring more prosperity, those who shows us life, how life it is. They were not complete role models, or they were not that much successful, and because we were following them, we thought that, okay, according to these points, if he didn't get that, it means that I won't get that. That's the point. We sometimes feel comparisons. This is the worst part, because we compare ourselves with other people. Especially it comes when we're talking about social medias. We usually compare our true self with the mask and the picture that people have or people get in their social medias. And you might have heard, seen, or watched that many of those are fake ones, they're not true, or they're just for the camera. What's happening into their real life is something completely different with completely other points. So this comparison, unuseful comparison, also brings more self-doubt to our life, that less self-confidence, that okay, I am not as beautiful as she or he is, I'm not as wealthy as they are, I cannot go to this vacation, so it means that I am poor, blah blah blah. But this is still the effect of social media, and we need to be aware of it and try to do something against that. Sometimes we confuse failure with being a failure, being a person who makes mistakes, because mistakes are part of our life, are part of our journey. We cannot do everything completely perfect without any failure or mistakes, because mistakes gives us opportunities, challenges, brings better lifestyle, more ways to deal with, and all of this actually affects how we feel, how we deal with things. In my own personal life, every challenge brought a better person for me. It was like I was burnt and someone new was going to be appeared. So I'm not in the past again. I was afraid of mistakes. I wanted to be a perfect person. But throughout life, and by starting to be a teacher and a coach, I understood that okay, you can make mistakes and still be a kind, good, confident person, because mistakes makes you a better person than you need to be. Sometimes we go with labelings, so we label ourselves. I label myself as I am an idiot, so everything around me goes by that label. What I mean is that the self-talks that we usually have with ourselves actually brings the perspective that the world, the environment, the universe has for us. So if you see yourself as a failure person, a person who fails lots of times, of course everything will go around that. I honestly believe in that. Throughout these years of teaching and coaching, I started teaching on year 2013. I saw many people. They had very few knowledge, let's say about the language that they were speaking, like English. But because they were confident enough and their self-talks was talking about positivity, prosperity, good things, usually people see them here. And vice versa, I saw many people with lots of huge skills, but because they labeled themselves that I am not enough, they were here. So this is how you see yourself, how you push yourself to do things, how you try to observe new things, new issues, new opportunities. And this is the main point. This is the main criteria of self-doubt, that what's happening in reality is completely different with what you think. And actually the first step is to understand these points, to understand that okay, what's happening, what Ella is saying, and how I should deal with that. Maybe she's right, maybe I am labeling myself in a wrong way. Maybe I am not an idiot person. Maybe I just didn't have that much information about the topic. Or maybe I am in the right path, but it takes more time to compare with another person that I see these stories in social medias. For example, let's talk more about labeling and environment and things. You might see a person in social media. Then let's talk about myself. I see a coach that she or he might start their work at the same time as me, and now they have lots of followers, many sellings, good marketing and everything, and I would think that okay, maybe I am not enough, or maybe something is wrong with me. Come on, why this person gets success sooner earlier than me? But I should come to that point that okay, Ella, you're comparing yourself. You should compare Ella at 2025 with Ella at 2020. Of course, there's a huge difference. I created a new character out of myself. I brought a new version of Ella, and I am completely different between what was happening on 2020 and what is happening on 2025. So this is more important than comparing myself, my life, with another person that I don't know what's going on in the background, and maybe he or she is using some other methods, materials, maybe they have more experiences, they were dealing with more things, maybe they had marketing at the back of their social media that I didn't know about. I just see themselves making videos and something, and I'm comparing why they're successful and I am not. So that's the problem. We compare ourselves. We start overthinking. We start doing nothing. Then we follow with regrets. I wish I had done that, so I would be in this place. I wish I had started that year, so I can be now in the place that I want. I wish I had taken that advice. I wish. These are all the regrets that we take. And in the book, Midnight Library, it's a novel. It talks about a story, but this was very meaningful for me. The author says many people have a book of regrets, huge, a thick book of regrets, that they wanted to do something but they didn't. They wish they had experienced something but they didn't. Because of what? Because very tiny, not very useful excuses, reasons, something like that. So why? And in this book, Midnight Library, the main character, she goes through every single regret, and she finds out that actually it wasn't a regret, it was only in my mind. But when I start experiencing it, I just saw that, okay, nothing is going to happen, and I just need to believe on the power of now. I needed to believe that what I am doing currently is the main important thing, that thinking about what hadn't happened in the past or what will happen in the future that I am not aware of it. So those regrets brings more self-doubts and brings more less self-assurance, less self-confidence for us, and that makes the problem. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to answer this question. Where in your life do you notice self-doubt holding you back, and why? So I want to end this video with this main question. I want you to pause the video, answer this question. I would be happy if you write your answers in the comments so we can just cooperate together. But answer this question honestly and fully. Again, where in your life do you notice self-doubt holding you back? And why do you think it happens? See you on the second part.